Hey yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com coming at you with another weekly movie review. We are on the couch. It is Friday night and it's time to review another new release that just dropped on DVD. So this week I got to check out a flick that I actually was really excited about seeing. It was one I wanted to see in the theaters. Even though it didn't have any big stars in it, it looked kind of B-level. There was something about it that just seemed pretty cool to me. And while I didn't get to check it out in the theaters, I'm actually really happy I was able to check this out for the website. So I am speaking of Chronicle, which stars, let me get this here, Dane DeHaan, Alex Russell, Michael B. Jordan, who's kind of, I'd seen him in some other stuff, as well as Michael Kelly, who's pretty well known. He was in Dawn of the Dead and a few other things. He's a face that you recognize, as well as Ashley Hinshaw. So pretty unknown cast, but I thought it was actually a really solid cast. The movie actually is all shown from handheld camera's perspective and from like the perspective of following around the lead character, which is played by Dane DeHaan, who plays Andrew. And basic wrap up of the movie is Andrew is this very outcast kid in high school. His cousin, played by, what was the other guy's name here? Alex Russell. His cousin is, I believe, a couple years older than him in school, and kind of off on his own thing, really getting philosophical and just kind of doing his own thing. Who also has a past relationship with Ashley Hinshaw's character, who also is a video blogger. I can't say also, but she's a video blogger. So a lot of the scenes you also see from her video standpoint. So it's kind of cool how they did a lot of the shots. But Andrew's character plays that of a very introverted, very kept to himself type of person who has to deal with a very sick mother as well as an incredibly abusive father played by Michael Kelly. I mean, he's always played a dick. He's really good at playing a dick. But between this and Dawn of the Dead, I just wanted to straight punch this dude in the throat. He is just an asshole. Like, seriously, asshole. So we get to see how socially awkward Andrew's character is. And while his cousin, whose character's name is Matt in this, I believe, right? Yeah, Matt. And while Matt isn't exactly the most popular, he definitely knows a lot more people than Andrew does, and he's definitely more social than Andrew. While in the beginning, while Andrew is attempting to try and be more social, as well as kind of have something new, he goes and gets a camera. And it's also partly to attempt to keep his father from being as abusive, though it's never actually mentioned. You can definitely tell that's the undertone of it. So that's a big reason why he ends up buying the camera and starts videotaping. And automatically he gets some static from his cousin Matt because he's already pretty unknown of a guy and pretty, socially outcast. And now he's walking around with this big ass 1970s camera. So his cousin definitely is telling him not to. But he still does, and starts just filming everything, from himself to his friends to all that. So one night, he ends up going to a party with his cousin, Andrew does. And at the party, while he's ends up out by himself in the middle of a yard, rather sad, he is approached by this guy, Steve, played by Michael B. Jordan? Yeah, Michael B. Jordan's character. His name's Steve in the movie. And he's like the number one guy in school, total prom king, running for student body president, just super social guy, friends with anybody he talks to, has no issues with anything socially awkward. He's just that dude. So I'm sure everybody, went to high school knows that dude. He is that dude. So he ends up finding Andrew, who's laying out in the middle of this yard, sad and crying. He says, hey, man, you got it. I'm with your cousin. I'm with Matt. We need your camera. Come on. So they end up leading him down into the forest. And That's when we have the things start getting crazy. And really, I'm not giving any spoiler alert away because you really don't even know what the cause is. All we know is that the three of them are exposed to something which causes them to have superpowers, essentially. And they have the ability, they realize they can fly, they realize they can control things with their mind, they realize that they can pretty much have telekinesis over really any objects. And that's when the fun starts. Now, one thing I want to give a shout out to, I already want to say that the filming of this movie was very well done. I really liked how they did a lot of the shots from a first person perspective. Really just how they did all of it, I thought was very well filmed. I really liked that. Honestly, I thought all three of the main characters did a really solid job as well. While, two of them I wasn't really familiar with, I had seen Michael B. Jordan in a few things. I was impressed. I really thought that they all worked well together. And I thought Andrew and Matt's relationship as cousins worked really well because there was this strain to it, but at the end there was also this want for them to be closer, and Matt's want for Andrew to be cooler, and Andrew's want for Matt to understand his situation and what he's going through. Wow, I'm getting a phone call right now. It's my boy Nino. Shout out to my boy Nino. I'll call him back in 2 minutes. Anyway, wow. Probably talk about Vegas. It's coming up soon. I'm back. Sorry about that, y'all. So, the one funny thing that I really like is when the kids first realize that they have superpowers, the things that they do are totally what any kids would do. Like, it's so funny to me because they portrayed it perfectly as just high school kids who just found out that they could control a baseball being thrown at their face, or just found out that they can fly, and proceed to have a game of aerial football where they're throwing the ball, 100 miles an hour a mile away, and just stuff like that that just seems so peaceful and so immature, but not in like a corny way. Just we're just high school kids who just found out what we can do. And what was cool is that they're trying to find out their limits of it. They're trying to find out their realm of it. They're trying to figure out what they can and can't do, what they can control, how they can control it, all these things. And one thing that they find is that when they use this power, it causes them to bleed, nosebleed. But that's something they're trying to work, how they can use it more without having the symptoms. And I really thought it was cool, like how they did a lot of the scenes. And even though some of the CGI looks kind of corny with these dudes like flying through the air and all that, I still really thought it was well done. And I really liked it. And in a way, it's weird. Like, it's weird to call it believable simply because it's about three kids flying and being superheroes. It was portrayed in such a way that it really was kind of believable. Which really, there's no better way to put that. I wish I had a better way to say it. But when you see the movie, you'll see what I mean. And one thing I thought was really cool is you had these three unlikely friends. You had Andrew, the nerdy, introverted, kept to himself white guy. You had Matt, the thinks he's more sophisticated. Well, I can't talk, it's late. Sophisticated and, introverted type, an extroverted type of guy. But really, he's still incredibly insecure in so many ways. And then you had Steve, who's the stereotypical jock, the cool black guy, the friend of everybody. And it was so cool seeing them come together on this thing, this gift that they all share. And seeing how they work it and how some will excel at certain things and others at other things and how it works together is really cool. And I almost would have rather had the first, they make two movies, have the first one be all about that and the second one have it go where it did. Because, of course, it can't just be a happy movie about them learning these superpowers and saving the world. It ends up having to go south. And as always happens, when power is involved, things go south. And I don't want to give too much away about the movie, but there definitely becomes an overload of power. And with one of them, while the other two are much more focused on having fun with it, and showing off a little bit and trying to, just be themselves, the one becomes so full of the feeling that they get from the power of it that it just spirals out of control. And when I say it spirals out of control, I mean like as out of control, 150 down the freeway on black ice, out of control. Like, it gets bad. And while I do think that the pacing was a little off, I feel that they rushed the end of it a little bit, and it went from like, hey, we're all happy, to, oh, hey, he's feeling a little angsty, to, holy shit, what just happened? Like, to buses flying through the air, killing policemen, like, mad crazy. So that was my only complaint, is the pacing was a little off. But I also think it's because they were trying to keep it a little bit shorter of a movie, because, with that type of a movie, they try to keep it right about the hour 20, hour 30 minute mark. And this was about an hour 30. So that's, in my opinion, why they probably did it. And while I think they could have done it a little bit better with the pacing, overall, I like the flick. I don't feel it has a lot of rewatchability personally. So I can't go ahead and give it a full 4 stars. But I gotta say this is a full 3.5. Not like a lot of the 3.5s I give, like to last week, to Carnage, which was just 3.5. This was definitely like, I really like this movie 3.5, as opposed to I kind of have to give it a 3.5 because of the director and the actors and the script. So I gotta say that this really was a well done flick for what it was. At the end of the day, it still wasn't a top level release, a top level motion picture. This was more of a B grade film. And not B grade in the way of like Black Dynamite B grade, but B grade in terms of the actors, the directors. It just didn't have that big budget feel to it. Overall, still a cool flick, 3.5 stars. And I would recommend seeing it. I didn't get the Blu-ray. I know on the Blu-ray you were able to see extra secrets and 3 alternate endings and actually learn more about what happened to him. So I didn't get to see that, and I'm curious. So if you saw the secrets and you know what happened, email me because I want to know what happened. So there you go. So this week on Weekly Movie Review with your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com, I went ahead and reviewed Chronicle and give it a 3.5 stars. So definitely check it out. I really think it is worth the couple dollar rental at Blockbuster or whatever. So definitely recommend that. I can't really say go and cop it just because I don't feel that it has a whole lot of rewatchability. If it was on TV, though, I would watch it again. I just can't see myself buying it just to watch it. So, on that note, I'm officially going to sign off. Things are getting kind of crazy around my house. I'm trying to get all packed up. Vegas is coming quickly. But keep tuned, as always, to MatthewMaley.com. I will be posting tons of videos going forward, so you can stay up on all the newest news about everything going on in my life and poker and everything. So, until the next video, I am signing off. I am Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Of course, you can check out the rest of my videos on MatthewMaley.com, video blog tab, or check me out on YouTube, search for Matthew Maley Poker. Check out everything on there. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe, you can watch it a billion times. I appreciate it. Of course, you can like your boy's page on Facebook, search for Matthew Maley Poker. And last but not least, follow me on Twitter, at Matthew Maley. Tweeting about sports, movies, shoes, politics, life, all that. So, holla at me and stay tuned. So, hope everybody has a great weekend. I am crashing out, and I will see y'all in the next flick. Peace out, y'all.